In this tutorial, we're going to talk about another popular component used for managing data lists. It's called sublist. You will find this component under Sets, List, Sublist. The sublist component extracts a subset of items from a list defined by domain of indices. This component has three inputs. It requires a list to subtract information from and the domain to identify the start index value and the end index value. And it also has the wrap option similar to the list item component. So let's try it out. I'm going to connect Char Sequence output to the list input. And now we need to define the domain. There are several ways how we could do this. But in this case, we're going to double click on canvas, use one-sided quotes, and then just type in the domain. Let's say from 3 to 7. Click enter. So here we have the domain with the start value and end value. Let's connect it to the domain input in sublist component. As always, I'm going to go under params, input, and grab a panel so we can read the output. I'm going to adjust this panel a bit. Pay attention to the top. This list has a more complex data path compared to the initial one. It has added levels of hierarchy. So this is now a new list with 5 items in it from letter D to H, and these items have new indices assigned to them, and these indices are different than the ones these items have in initial list. We have talked about this aspect in the previous tutorial as well. Let's now try to construct the domain in a different way. Let's go to the component palettes, under Math tab, Domain, and choose Construct Domain Component. So Construct Domain Component requires the start of the domain, the numerical value, and the end of the domain. We're going to use the panel here as well to define the number. Again, double click on canvas, use single-sided quotes, and then type in the numerical value and click enter. I'm going to go grab a panel so we can read the output from the construct domain and compare it to the manual input. And as you can see, it's the same thing. So what is the difference between these two methods? So the first method, the manual one in the panel, is used when you are not planning the domain to be automatically updated or to change in your definition. And so it's more of a permanent type of data that you just typed in. Meanwhile, with the construct domain component, you can create the domain that is automatically updated due to the other changes in your definition. So it all depends on the situation, which method would you use. So let's connect now the construct domain component to the domain input. And let's move on to the wrap option to see how it works in this particular component. I'm going to grab a Boolean toggle under params input and connect it to the wrap option in sublist component. You can try double-clicking Boolean toggle to change the value, and you can see that it has no effect to the sublist output. And this is because wrap option is only effective when, let's say, our constructed domain exceeds a list length of the initial list. So let's create that sort of situation. Let's double click on canvas. And in this case, I'm going to use a number slider. I'm going to type in 3, smaller than 30. So it's the limits from 3 to 30. And I'm going to change the B input to the construct domain, I'm going to input this slider. So if the start and the end values of the domain matches, in this case we have number 3, then only one item with index 3 is extracted from the list with a sublist component. If I change the value for the B input in the construct domain component, or the domain end value, and that value is larger than the last index value in the initial list, so in other words, our constructed domain now exceeds the length of the initial list, then the wrap option becomes effective. Let's now change the Boolean value. Let's double-click Boolean toggle and change false to true, thus turning on the wrapping option for sublist component. And notice the difference in the output panel. We have additional item now stored there, letter A, which is the last item in the output list, although it is the first item in the initial list. And this is because our domain is set to 10, thus exceeding the initial list length by a single item. So what does sublist component do when the wrap option is turned on? Currently the domain is set from 3 to 18, which means that there are 16 items within these bounds. When the sublist component runs out of items in the initial list, it loops through it again, adding new items to the new list until it reaches the count of, in this case, 16 items, and then it stops adding the items to the output list. We can, of course, change the bounds of the domain. We can increase the number of items in the list, and the sublist component with the wrap option turned on can loop through the initial list as many times as it is needed. But let's go back to a simpler scenario. I'm going to reduce the number of items in the output list, and I'm also going to copy the panel using short keys Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V, copy and paste. Now let's focus on the second output from sublist component. This output offers us indices associated with the extracted items in the initial list. So in case we need to match them somehow again. We have covered the sublist component in great detail in this tutorial. In the next one, we continue talking about data list management, and we're gonna review the shift list component. I will see you then.